Hello, everybody. My name is Professor T.X. May. I'm one of the team members for the delivery of this module, Instrumentation and Control, and I'm also the module leader for this module as well. So I will be the prime contact for issues related to this module. So, first of all, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm a specialist in control engineering, and I teach all control subjects for different programs in this university, and that includes second year control engineering, third year control engineering, and the master's programs like the one that you're having now. Now, this module is called Instrumentation and Control, but really it should be all the way around because control is the main focus of the module. Instrumentation part is fairly introductory. Okay, so it's fairly light touch for the instrumentation, but the control is the main focus. And most of you will be on the advanced control course anyway, so I'll expect you to be more interested in control-related subjects. The lectures will be delivered by myself in this semester, and it will take place on Tuesdays and Fridays. But this time around, because we have this very particular situation in relation to COVID-19, so all the lectures this time around will be delivered online. And then there's also the MATLAB design sessions. This is really control design practices using a software called MATLAB. Okay, this will be carried out by Dr. Sengolona, and detailed arrangements will be made to you from him directly once you start your sessions. I think it's every Thursday, but it's only a timetable anyway, so you will need to address any of your questions in relation to the MATLAB sessions to him directly. Let me just move on to the next slide. Now, the module materials for this module are all on Blackboard. They are in the form of PowerPoint documents, but with fairly detailed explanations of topics. Within the PowerPoints, you also have practical questions as well, so you can actually go away and practice after each session. Textbooks for reference come off on that list. By the way, this particular PowerPoint that I'm using now is also available on Blackboard. Okay, and assessments. Now, ignore the IPSA part for our advanced control MSc student. Your exam will take place in January, and it will typically consist of 5 to 6 questions, depending on the form of the examination, whether it's in the lecture halls, then you will be asked to answer next questions. But if they are going to be carried out online, then you will be asked to do more set of questions, but it will be given more time as well. But exams will count for 60% of your overall mark, and the coursework for the MATLAB related work by Dr. Sengolona, that will count for 40% of your module. Okay, so that's how your overall mark will be calculated. 60% from the exam, 40% from the coursework. So take the coursework seriously because it's quite heavy for that part as well. Now, I used to teach in the previous years. We also have a group of students from France. That's our collaborating institute called IPSA, and I'm not certain that this year they will be joining us. But if you are, then yes, welcome to this module as well. Okay, your assessment, if that happened, your assessment will, your exam will take place in December this year. That's what happens in the previous years. Now, under normal circumstances, before the COVID-19 lockdown, and what I normally would do is to deliver 2-hour lectures every session, and then plus 1-hour tutorials. Okay, and that's kind of face-to-face lectures and face-to-face tutorials. But we are now at the unprecedented times because of lockdown, because of social distance, because the spread of COVID-19 still going on in the UK. Therefore, all lectures are moved to online. So there will be no face-to-face lectures. That make interactions between myself and you more difficult because I like to see your faces, to be honest. Online teaching on video, recorded video are not really my choice. We are just being forced to go down that route because the government policies on social distance. And because obviously because also the well-being and the safety of every one of you and myself as well. So we have to take that into account and take necessary measures. So I don't get to ask you questions, and you don't get to ask me questions face to face, or I don't get to ask you direct questions. You don't get to ask me direct questions face to face, but we can still communicate via emails. And there is also something called Blackboard Collaborator, if you have not used that before. So that's where we can have live sessions. Okay, I'll talk about that a bit more in a minute when I start discussing the lecture arrangements. Okay, but it is possible to do that online. We're not going to do other things like Zooms or Teams meetings, but we use Blackboard Collaborator. It's fairly similar. Because of the problems we have, or the limitations of online teaching, so I've actually taken a lot of extra actions this year. Okay, I have revised substantially all my module materials. The PowerPoints are now much enhanced to make it more suitable for remote delivery, and the explanations are a lot more detailed. They're on slides, but obviously I also go through them a bit by bit myself with videos. There are now more examples given in the PowerPoint slide and also in my videos. Videos will be pre-recorded, but each video will approximately cover the topics that would normally take 1 hour of my face-to-face lecture. But because we don't stop for questions, I don't stop to ask you things, and I don't ask you to do practices during my videos. Therefore, the videos will be shorter than 1 hour. And mostly, each video will be accompanied by a set of practice questions so that you can practice after you finish watching the videos. Okay? Online or live Q&A sessions will follow after you finish watching the videos allocated for that day. Okay? Obviously, efforts from me alone can only help to a certain extent. To make the whole thing work, I would expect enhanced engagement from all your guys as well, in comparison to previous years, because previous years we didn't have lockdown, so there were face-to-face teaching. But this year, because we don't get to see each other face-to-face, and you need to be really more proactive in getting involved, attending online lectures as scheduled. Don't leave it for later. To keep it up. Okay? If you leave it later, there will be another incident. You say, "Oh, I'll leave that for later," and then things just get dragged along. And by the end of the term, you will say, "Oh, actually, I have not watched any of or a lot of videos. Or I'm not really learned anything." Can you catch up? It'll be difficult. Okay, so it's better just do them as things go along. And each video will be marked. Which session you're going to watch, whether it's Tuesday afternoon or Friday afternoon. And I expect you to watch the video at least twice, the same video twice. Because you don't get to ask me questions. Sometimes explanation probably didn't quite get through to your head. And watching a second time will help. But do make notes on issues that you don't quite get it, or where my explanation did not quite make sense to you personally. Make notes on the inquiries, and then we can actually deal with that in my tutorial sessions. Okay? And after watching the video, I expect you to try and have a go with the practical questions. And they're provided for most of the video, at the end of the most videos. But if you download my PowerPoint documents, now they are posted in the format of PDF file, so they don't get mixed up. Okay, so you get these files, and then make sure you spend time immediately after you finish watching the videos. Okay, so you can actually start asking me questions. If you find some of the questions difficult, now first go back to the video or the PowerPoint documents for reference, because for practical questions, normally I would have gone through similar examples in my lectures or in my videos as well. So that it would help just if you go back to the videos and the PowerPoints first. But if you still have questions, you can always ask me in the tutorial session. Okay? And finally, keep in touch with lectures. That's me, so lecturers. And in time, don't leave it for later. If you need to contact me outside the tutorial session, you can always email me to alert me, not alter me. Alert. Sometimes alert me for any issues extra. So I'll be happy to schedule extra live online sessions if there's a demand, okay, on top of the scheduled lectures and tutorials as well. Okay, so, and finally, that's the detailed schedules for your lectures for this module. So on every Tuesday and Friday, from 1 to 3 in the afternoon, you need to watch the pre-recorded videos allocated for that day. Okay, it will be marked clearly which day you should watch. There are the links to. I post all the videos on YouTube, but I included the links on Blackboard. So you click on the links, you should be able to watch the videos. And there are typically 2 videos per day, but occasionally 1. I think only once or twice, so that we don't split the same topic into 2 different days, which makes life a bit difficult. Okay, so I wanted to avoid that. So if I find a situation where I have to stop for that day, then I'll stop. I don't expect you to watch the videos in advance of the schedule, but I recommend very strongly that you don't leave them for later. Go through the video second time, as I already explained why. Tutorial sessions will follow the 2-hour lecture session. That's from 3 to 4. So I'll be there on Collaborator, on the Blackboard Collaborator, for if you have any questions and answer questions. If you have any questions for me to answer, or anything that you want to, any issues you want to raise. If you are not there, then it will make life more difficult. Okay, so try to be there and log on to there, so I can answer your questions. There are 2 forms that you can do. You can either type in the notes section of the Collaborator, or you can actually raise your hand and switch on your microphone, so we can actually listen to your questions. Now you will find the Blackboard Collaborator on the module. So if you enter the Blackboard and enter this particular module for instrumentation and control, click on the button. No, not the button. There's a link says Blackboard Collaborator, where you can post questions. Where we can actually discuss live. Okay, so I'll let you get on with the videos now for my lectures, and I'll see you later.